By now you know that as a couple you both individually should have 3 bank accounts. We've also said that yes, you should save first before you spend, and whatever you want to spend, you set a budget by splitting that money into me money and we money. Once you have this data in place, the next thing is that how do you make it work? How do you put all these pieces together so that your financial machinery is working smoothly? And that is possible through ensuring that the cash flows from this in the right manner. Now we are going to explain you this with the example of our 2 couples, that is the 2 states couple and key and ka couple, because where the earning situation within the couples varies, the way the money would flow in the bank accounts would also vary. So let's understand this first with the help of the 2 states couple. Now we know that in this couple, both the partners are earning. They are earning equal amount and they are both contributing towards their we money and me money, and they are also saving and investing in their individual names. If they are not, then they should definitely do that. So the first thing to do is that, Krish and Ananya both have their salary accounts, which is their income accounts, which will be in their individual names, and then they should open a joint expense account which will be held by both of them as anyone or survivor. Now in this joint expense account, they should transfer their contribution to the monthly expenses, and then from this joint expense account they should make all the V spends. So basically what happens is they should make all the V spends like rent, utility, groceries, travel, etc. Now the second thing that they need to open is have their individual investment accounts. Now when we did their budgeting, we saw that they are spending off the expenses budget that they have around 20,000 rupees left for their personal discretionary spends, or me money as we call it, and that money is also being used from the joint expense account. They have a mutual understanding where they are comfortable with, they talk to each other and figure out who needs to use that money in a particular month, or they use it as and when the need arises. So let's understand the 2 states couple and how their cash flow works with their actual numbers. So here, as you can see, that both Krish and Ananya earn 1 lakh rupees each month. So 1 lakh rupees is credited into their salary accounts each month. Now because they are living together and they have a lot of financial responsibilities, they are able to save 30 to 40% of their take-home income. So they have arrived at a number of 40%. So 40,000 rupees each is getting transferred to their respective investment accounts. So that is getting transferred to that bank account, and from there it would get invested, and balance 60,000 rupees will go towards their joint expense account. So now at the beginning of each month, their joint expense account has 1,20,000 rupees, and from this 1,20,000 rupees they make various expenses towards their joint expenses and towards their personal expenses. So this is how your cash flows would work, where you are a couple in the case where both of you are earning and you have decided to contribute equally towards your monthly expenses. Now this is the case. Now let's see where one partner is earning and the other one is a homemaker. How does your cash flows and how would they look like? So we have taken the example of Ki and Ka couple, where we know that Ki is earning and Ka is a homemaker. Now in case of a Ki and Ka couple, where you are that couple, it's very important to understand that even where one of you are the sole bread earner of the family, the other one is taking care of the family and managing everything within the budgets that you set together. So there is still a equitable relationship that you are following with respect to your money, and you should continue to discuss every aspect of your finances. Please ensure that entire discussion your spouse is also present with you, so you can work on everything that we're going to teach to you now together. So we know that Ki has a salary account where she's earning her money, and Ki and Ka would both open a joint expense account. So Ki would open a joint expense account where Ka would also have access to it, and Ki each month would transfer the fixed expense amount towards the joint expenses in that bank account. So Ka basically needs to just have access to the joint expense account, and he can take care of all the monthly expenses from there, and he can also pay all the bills and other things that he wants from the joint expense account. So this just ensures that, they are not constantly fighting for money and discussing, oh, I want 5,000 rupees to pay to X person, I want so much money to pay to Y person. The money is in a joint expense account which is available to both of you. So in case of Ki and Ka, clearly given that Ki is the one who is earning, then most of the investments would be made by Ki, and Ki can go ahead and make the investment in Ka's name. But there is a tax layer that would come here, which we're going to discuss in the next session. So in spite of that, Ka should have his individual investment account so that any cash gifts or any money that you earn and get from your relatives, in Indian culturally, when we visit families after we are married, there's always a shagun that is given, and we generally tend to spend that money, but you should ideally put all that gift and money that you receive in the non-earning spouse's bank account and then invest from that bank account. This will also help them as a couple to save taxes. Let's quickly run through Ki and Ka's numbers to understand how they are actually managing their cash flows and how much are they able to save and invest each month. So we know that Ka is a homemaker and Ki is earning. Ki earns 1,50,000 rupees per annum. Now out of this 40%, that is 60,000 rupees, she transfers to her individual investment bank account, and the balance 90,000 rupees is transferred to the joint expense account. Ka obviously has access to this joint expense account and uses this money for regular expenses of himself, his family, and in general, and Ki can also access the money from the joint expense account for her expenses. As we've already discussed, the gifts from relatives and friends comes in Ka's account, and from there he makes his individual investments. In the following sessions of taxation, we shall discuss how and how much can Ki transfer in Ka's bank accounts, keeping in mind the tax expense for the overall situation. Now the third case is, how do you manage finances where's a couple living with parents? Well, in this situation, you have to be in two cases where your parents are taking care of family expenses or where you have to contribute towards family expenses. Now where parents are taking care of the family expenses, things are very simple, right? You can have a joint expense account with your parents. Basically your parents, are taking care of everything, so you really don't have to contribute anything towards the household expenses, but still you can contribute around 30% to the joint expense account and look to save 70% of your income because you don't really have a lot of financial responsibilities. So if we go back, this is a very K3G situation. So Rahul and Anjali can save 70% of their income and have a joint expense account from their parents and put 30% of their income to the joint expense account. Where you have to contribute and take care of your parents financially, you can either fall under two-state situation or Ki and Ka situation, depending upon whether you both are working or one person is working, and then take care of family expenses. Please note here that every family is different, and communicating clearly and setting up budgets and deciding amongst yourself as to how you're going to take care of your monthly expenses and invest money regularly will be the best approach to managing your finances in the best possible manner.